Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be featuring some battles that I did on stream with this new team. It's a very inaccessible team. I apologize for that, but this is a season to try new things out, and I really want to try these dark poisons out in the form of Skuntank and Drapion. Obviously, their biggest challenges for these Pokemon are going to be like the ground types, so like Swampert and GFIS. So I decided to lead a Trevenant. This team performed pretty well for me. I went 16-4. First I think I went 3-2, 4-1, 4-1, 5-0. Probably the toughest core to deal with this team is the Trevenant and Scrappy core, where they lead. No, not Trevenant. Talonflame. Scrappy core, where they lead Talentflame. They have Scrappy in the back. I am choosing to run Aqua Tail just for the GFIS counter switches, and then as well help me a little bit more against the Talonflames. And I'm running Flamethrower just because I think it has like better closing potential than Sludge Bomb. But there are some instances where Sludge Bomb definitely would have been helpful. But let's go ahead and get started with these battles. And we have so usually they have Dark in the back. So I was actually playing to catch the move, but they actually come into Umbreon. I do expect them to have a Scrappy in the back. Honestly, like Umbreon, you would think this would be a very good matchup, and thankfully they have Psychic and they don't have Last Resort. They decided to throw the Psychic at me. Foul Play would have been better here because both of them are, in this case, are resisted because of the Dark and Poison typing. But Foul Play is more DP. Psychic probably does more individual damage than Foul Play. So they would have definitely been able to put me like extremely low. Like I would have taken another charge move there and would have been a little bit lower. But this works out okay too. So they actually decide to come into Scrappy. I didn't want to get farmed down. I actually tried to catch the pup there, but they had very good self-control. I decided to throw the Seed Bomb at the Scrappy. Seed Bomb is more energy efficient than Shadow Ball, because Shadow Ball is resisted, but Shadow Ball does do more raw damage. So I decided to let this go because I know I can survive the Foul Play, and it would be a difficult farm down for them. I thought they were gonna pup me here, and I thought I had a chance to get it to the move, but they end up throwing the Foul Play, which actually works out perfectly fine for me. I come into Drapion, and honestly, I probably should have faked the Sludge Bomb, but I throw the Aqua Tail. They end up no shielding. I get an extra Poison Sting through, which is extremely helpful for me. They do Power Up Punch. I do overfarm just a little bit. They get extra counter through. We'll see if they shield this or not. I think I actually end up banking the... Okay, they actually end up popping. I make a very risky play here, which I let go. And then I switch, and I actually decide to farm down with Skuntank. I'm able to get to the crunch. Flamethrower would do more damage, but at this point in time, I'm pretty comfortable at this point in time. I get no defense drop though. I do need to land 2 Aqua Tails. Again, in Ultra League, these like really spammy moves are like not that useful, especially when they're like low damage, but especially because like even super effective, they don't do very much. As you see, Nidoqueen's not the tankiest Pokemon, but it took the Aqua Tail no problem. But I'm able to get to another Aqua Tail and take out the Nidoqueen. So it worked out pretty well for me in the back. They also had 2 Darks in the back, but I had in this case the superior Darks, and it would have been much closer if they had Last Resort. I probably would have ended up maybe perhaps even losing the Zero Shield to Umbreon, but I would have put it low enough that I could farm it down with Drapion or Trevenant. So I decided to go straight into Drapion because I do expect them to have answers in the back to poisons. So in this case, they have Swampert. I did get quite a big energy advantage, so I should be able to reach this crunch before they reach an EQ. So they throw here, and there's absolutely no chances of EQ. This is one short of the EQ. And they need 2 more for the next Hydro Cannon. And I'm feeling pretty good at this point in time. Very nice timing by the opponent. And I'm going to look to farm down with Trev. I do want to go in right away, not to waste any clock. This should just be a Hydro. Yeah, just a Hydro. I'm going to be able to farm down. I am going to throw the Shadow Ball to potentially draw the shield or do quite a bit of damage. The shield honestly is preferred because I can potentially close out this match with Skunk Tank. And they do have Lapras in the back. And this has actually worked out pretty nicely for me. I do get the extra move through. And right now I'm gonna do 4 then throw. Do one then throw, then 4 to prevent them from getting an extra move through. And I do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is right before they get to the surf. And I'm in an extremely comfortable situation right now. If they shield this and actually getting another move through on the 1 turn there difference. It probably made no difference, to be honest, because I was able to farm down anyways. And I'm able to get to this flamethrower. Obviously, Sludge Bomb would have been do way more damage here, but this should be good enough here. And I'm feeling really comfortable. Even if this Psyshock does KO me, I would be able to poison jab them down because I do have more health in them. I do under tap and get the Seed Bomb off, and I'm able to take out the Sylveon. So the backline was super strong there. So. All right, we have Trev into Scrappy. Scrappy is Walrein and Scrappy are probably the 2 most problematic Pokemon for this team. I try to catch the foul play. Typically, they don't bait here just because it doesn't one-shot the Trevenant, and I'm actually waiting for them to switch, and I think they are one short, or they're at the foul play. I decided to go for the crunch. I'd really love to get the debuff on the first one, so the second crunch is more threatening, even though it doesn't KO. Get no debuff, which is kind of unfortunate for me. I let this go. I'm looking to grab a shield. This is a Hydro Cannon. I would definitely survive it. I do, and a little bit of over tap there. So I had to go for the Aqua Tail because I actually don't want to debuff them at this point in time. And I decided to switch here just to draw out first off, get more energy for my Trevenant. And then as well, they throw the EQ here, which actually works out pretty nicely for me because I'd rather the Swampert have very little energy. And I don't want, Skunk Tank is okay against Scrappy. What I don't want the Scrappy to do is to load up. And I have quite a bit of energy at this point in time, and they're dry. Okay, they do get a counter through, which is fine, or there was some lag there. I do get the Seed Bomb off. I do go 1 over before throwing. I actually think they need 1 more for the foul play. And I actually think they have a Jelly in the back. Yeah. So I'm sitting pretty here. This is very good. Very good. I don't want them to farm down. So I'm going to switch here to Skunk Tank. And I assume that they have Bubble Beam. One thing I do have to be careful of is that they don't stack onto Swampert. They do land like 3 Bubble Beams here. So here I should have thrown 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Well, I didn't want them to catch, so I let this go here. And then I think I do 1 then throw. 1 then throw in the middle of the hex so they can't switch. And I'm in a comfortable spot here. I do 4 then throw so they can't catch. And then clocks are up at this point in time, so I should be able to switch out. And as well, the Swampert was very low. Threw an EQ. If it threw a Hydro, because the foul play would have KO'd anyways with the just need a Hydro in order to there, then this definitely would have been a closer game. But because they threw the EQ, they end up having no energy there. So, all right, we're going to have Trevenant into Crowbat. This is extremely problematic for me. I go straight into Drapion. They come into Obstagoon. I throw the Aqua Tail. I figured I have like the Sludge Bomb, which I don't, obviously. They're building up quite a bit of energy. So I think they're at like eight or so. Maybe like yeah, or yeah. Anyway, I think they're at. I think I counted like 12, including the. So I think they go one over. Yeah, they go one over the hyper beam. I decide to shield this. And then I build up. Okay, I should don't build up because this doesn't quite KO. It doesn't. Yeah, and I can't poison sting down because they actually make it to the move. Yeah, I'm gonna let this go. And they actually decide to come into wall rain. So at this point in time, this is a very unfriendly Trevenant team. So I go straight into Trevenant versus the wall rain. I let this go. And I do get the kind of like desync CMP. And I throw the seed bomb. They're going to have to throw, or else I'll reach the move. And this actually ended up being like really fortunate for me because it ended up being CMP tie here. Or was it CMP tie? No, they said farm down. I'm in huge trouble here. Honestly, I probably should have tried to catch the second Icicle Spear. I wasn't sure if they were at 2 yet or they were one short. And they end up being at 2. So this is very, very, very bad for me. And I think I decided to try to catch, but honestly, it didn't really matter at this point in time. I had to catch the Icicle Spear on Drapion to have any chance here. Just because like the Icicle Spear did way too much damage, and I would need to reach 2 crunches to KO. The Flamethrower would do slightly more, but not enough at that point in time to actually matter. So no luck for me, unfortunately. But very well played by my opponent. Again, wall rain is like really tough. Really tough for my team. And okay, Trevin took Galvantula. This is actually pretty okay. They will be able to outpace me to the move that I want to throw, which is Shadow Ball. I am going to go straight Shadow Ball. They end up lunging. A little bit of lag there, but that's okay. Not a big deal. They end up shielding. So I'm going to catch the next lunge onto Drapion, just in case they have like a Gfis or Swampert in the back. Swampert is definitely probable here, just because it ends up being Wall Rain, just because they are weak to Gfis. And like Needle Queen. I'm going to let this go. I should be able to survive this. And I actually easily I'm not sure they undercharge that because I end up easily surviving. And I throw the crunch. And we get the defense wall, and it actually ends up being a CMP tie, which is really fortunate for me. And I'll have to admit, this next plan here, I was actually just going to do 4, then throw the seed bomb. This next plan was actually by Doombug to actually shield once and farm down with Skunk Tank, which I thought was a pretty interesting idea. So I'm able to farm down. And they actually have Cresselia here. This is actually looking really good for me right now. The Galv is quite low. And throw the crunch. They do reach the Moonblast. I'm gonna let it go. Honestly, I'm in a very good spot right now. And this Galvantula is just eating a ton of poison jabs. I figured they're gonna farm down here, so I actually switch and seed bomb them. I could have waited for the Volt Switch animation to come through and then switch, but I was also 1 Shadow Claw away. So I had like a 1 turn window to do it, but it really didn't matter. Like if they throw the lunge at me, I just end up shielding and taking it out. So end up going 4-1 that set. And then here's another Galvantula. These ultra battles are extremely long. I end up getting denied, which is fine. I do 1 Shadow Claw, then throw. They actually end up no shielding this, which I actually thought was pretty interesting. And actually come into Umbreon. And this one actually does, in fact, have a last resort. So I'm going to do 4 and then throw the flamethrower. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Able to throw in the middle of the third snarl. And okay. Did they do 2? Okay, now I'm going to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this doesn't quite KO, but I think they actually end up shielding this. Yeah, they end up shielding this. And then they make an interesting play here by coming into Galvantula, and then they come into I throw the flamethrower. So then it actually they come into GFIS. So it's interesting that they didn't shield the Galvantula because they kind of need to get rid of the Trevenant. Otherwise, I'm in a very good spot here. I figure they're gonna EQ here and not Rock Slide B because they kind of have to go for the Hail Mary play, and I'm calling it correctly. And I'm in a very good spot right now. So what I'm gonna do next is try to CMP tie them. Yeah, this in theory is a CMP tie to the EQ. Because it's 7 for the second one. Yeah, it ended up being a CMP tie. And I'm in a very good spot right now. They're completely dry on energy. And I can just Shadow Claw down the GFIS. I'm going to go to double. But it looks like I'm going to go to Shadow Claw down before double anyways. And they do throw the Rock Slide. But this is definitely game over at this point in time. So I'm able to take them out with 4 more Shadow Claws and win my 27th battle, my 64 win bonus thing. So we get the next match right away here, which is pretty nice. And we have Trevenant into Deoxys. This team absolutely loves Deoxys. They actually come into Sylveon. I decided to throw the flamethrower here. I'm not 100% sure. I would have to shield anyway, so I want to take a shield from them as well. And I'm going to I'm actually going to farm them down. I'm just barely able to farm down and land the crunch here. They do get the counter through. I think I ended up surviving that one counter and get one more poison jab in. Is that correct? Yeah, I do. Okay. Very nice. So this is very good for me. They end up throwing the Psycho Boost at me. And I think they have an Umbreon. Yeah, they have an Umbreon in the back. And I get the extra poison sting through. And then I throw the Aqua Tail. And this is pretty much... well, I'm just going to speed this because there's like a lot of charge moves get thrown here. So we basically throw like a million charge moves at each other, slowly chip away at each other. Nothing really too much to watch here. I figured that they were going to switch, right? So I banked the Aqua Tail, and I thought about farming down here, but I was afraid of double Psycho Boost. So I'm just going to throw. They ended up getting to the Psycho Boost before I could throw there, so it's a little bit unfortunate. But I'm in a very good spot right now. I still have a shield. I'm going to do 1 Shadow Claw, then throw. And then I'm just going to land the Seed Bomb. Shadow Ball actually probably would come pretty close to taking them out. But I decided just to throw the Seed Bomb just to make sure the Aqua Tail would KO them. And I'm able to Shadow Claw down the Umbra. I do have an Aqua Tail bank, so this is it was going to be a good game either way. I really like playing in Open Ultra. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, for me, I grind out like a lot of. I'm obviously very fortunate to be able to play Pokemon Go to this extent, and as well have a fiance that also plays and live in a really good city. So I understand I have all these resources, but I really like playing this and playing these pretty interesting Pokemon. So I decided to try to catch the Night Slash onto Drapion. I figure that's like my best way to try to win. And I get a extra poison sting through, which is pretty nice. And they actually come into Scizor here. Very spicy pick. They actually end up shielding the first one here. And I actually get the defense fall, which is actually really bad for them. But you can see these poison stings are really adding up. They have enough for the Iron Head, but they end up throwing the X Scissor. And I'm able to get the Crunch. And you go see how much this neutral Crunch, obviously defenses dropped, does so much. And they have to throw, unfortunately for them. They're not going to be able to farm me down. And I'm just going to look to Shadow Claw down. And I'm able to Shadow Claw down. I'm going to throw the Seed Bomb. I really debated on what to do here. It's like to throw the Seed Bomb just to chip them. And then I do 5 more, then I try to catch again. But they're just too clever right now. So they end up not throwing. And they go to like 11 here or something like that, right? And I was like, oh, man, this is not enough for the Hyper Beam. But I really don't want to get Gunk Shot either. And they come into Cresselia, and this is looking really good for me right now. This is looking fantastic for me. And I'm going to throw the Crunch. Does quite a bit of damage. Plus gets the debuff. Oof. This is looking amazing for me. And I do shield this, knowing that I'm going to CMP tie them on the next move. But it really didn't matter at this point in time. I'm going to be able to take them out. I probably live a Moonblast as well. It does neutral. But I'd rather not take the damage there. And with these poison jabs, they are in Seed Bomb range. And I'm going to be able to make it to the Crunch to be able to take out this Obscune. So Obscune, pretty problematic for the team, but the backline was super strong. And as well, every time we see Crest, it's like basically playing like 2.5 versus 3, right? Because the Crest really can't do much versus this team. At least the team has a lot of offensive power versus Cresselia. The form of Shadow Claw, Crunch again, Shadow Ball, obviously, a bunch of stuff there. So I'm gonna speed this up here. All right, this is where I want to see it. So typically, what I do here is I eat 2 of the Rock Slides, and then I try to CMP tie with the 3rd Rock Slide. I do get the move through, which is very nice, and I'm getting the deny as well. I guess they tried to like CMP tie when I threw the Seed Bomb or something. I'm not sure. The Seed Bomb wouldn't KO, so I couldn't remember if I got a move through. So I ended up throwing. Yeah. So I did remember going a move through. The Seed Bomb wouldn't KO here, so I do end up throwing the Shadow Ball, and then I'm going to immediately swap. There's definitely no point in me staying, and I throw the Aqua Tail right away, just because I want to be able to chip this Talonflame. It's very problematic for my team. I end up making a call here by no shielding, and they end up baiting me. I do 2, then throw, and this is looking really good for me now. So I'm going to shield this, and then I'm going to do 2, then throw. Here's my plan. If they no shield, I'm just going to snipe them with Skunk Tank. So I do 2, then throw. If they shield, that's fine. I do 2, then throw, and then I'm gonna snipe them with Skunk Tank by being able to farm down, and I'm able to take them down with 1 poison jabs. And this is definitely absolutely game over. Trev in the back is absolutely has nowhere to go, right? Like my backline is really good against Trev and him. I believe this is the last game here, and I believe this is a pretty exciting game. It's a Talentflame lead, and I think they actually have Scrappy in the back. They do have Scrappy, and they switch out pretty quickly. I do fake the Sludge Bomb. I actually get another extra poison thing through there because of the desync on the switch. I throw the Aqua Tail. They end up shielding. I guess they thought it was a Sludge Bomb. And I guess they were concerned that they were going to have to shield the Crunch later on. So it kind of makes sense. But because of Aqua Tail, I'm just going to spam it as much as I can. They actually look like they're going to try to farm me down. which is which is quite bad for me. And I throw the Aqua Tail. They get a counter through, and I'm gonna look to throw this next Aqua Tail. And admittedly, this next idea was totally Doombug. He suggested that I try to snipe them with Skunk Tank, and I'm like, okay, let's just go for it. I'm able to snipe them, which is really fortunate for me. I could have CMP tied here, but I ended up getting actually the move through, which is slightly better for me. And then I'm gonna do 4 then throw. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what actually ends up here, they have the move here for the flame charge, but then they actually end up over tapping. So I do 2 then throw, which has actually worked out really, really nicely for me. And they actually end up having a muck, and them over tapping end up like allowing me to win the game. I would be able to survive a Dark Pulse on Trevenant, and maybe I would have made its move anyways. But this flamethrower does so much damage. Decided to no shield this. Not that it really mattered, because honestly, I'd be able to outpace to the Shadow Ball anyway. So maybe a little bit risky play on my side, but I would have lived the Dark Pulse. So I was in a pretty decent spot either way, and I'm going to be able to take out the Alolan Muck. So this team was a lot of fun. Obviously, not the most successful team, and I already know what the comments are going to say. But I had a lot of fun. Let me know what you think of this team and what you think of the gameplay. And if there are any other Ultra League teams that you want me to try, especially in Open Ultra, let me know down in the comment section below. And if you'd like to comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.